Hey everyone, this is Craig Ries.
And I'm Mia Gomez here with the Hollywood Junket.
And as you know, we have been interviewing all the eliminated contestants from this season's of Deal or Juno Island. We just got to talk to Letty, the runner-up of this past season, and it was so much fun. You've got to check out that interview. But we've got lots to recap about last night's finale.
I mean, do we? And yeah, make sure you check out the interview with Letty. Boy, was she honest, right, Craig? She gave some
Oh,
really good answers.
I've said from day one she was
Yeah.
my number one, and she did not let me down in the interview. She was so awesome. So last week it left on a cliffhanger.
Mhm.
We didn't know who was going to make it to the finals. It was between David and Letty. Letty got 5.5, David got 5.7.
Yeah, and we kind of talked a little bit about we were like, in a hypothetical world, if she would have got Lachelle's high case, maybe that would have tied them. And Letty, should I tell them or should they go watch the interview? What she said about the tie?
Oh, we could tell him.
Okay, no spoiler. Every spoiler here, guys.
Yes, yes.
So basically, she said that if there would have been a tie, make sure you watch the interview, guys. If there would have been a tie, that they would have gone who basically was the fastest during the last excursion. So we didn't know that. So I always wonder too, Craig. I'm like, what would have happened if they would have tied? Like, would they have to do another excursion? But no, they would have just gone off time.
Well, I it was interesting to hear about the time, but I would also imagine that they would probably had given them numbers where there wouldn't be a tie. David ended up winning. We had a great interview with Lachelle, so please go check that out. She was really honest about like why she kind of did her thing. We talked to Letty about, well, she's surprised that Phillip didn't have her back more.
What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that, Craig? I mean, I appreciate Philip for playing an honest game. He really, I mean, I hope he has the best karma for decades and decades and lifetimes to come. But in a way, I'm kind of like, well, David eliminated you. Why not just kind of poke the bear a little bit, give it to Letty?
I was shocked because I thought Phillip and Letty had a good relationship, but he didn't tell her like the high number. He kind of like, well, he did kind of what Lachelle did, but like, what are your feelings on that, Mia? Like,
I mean, also like another thing that really stood out to me with the Philip during the last excursion is that when David was going for the cases, he said something, don't quote me on this verbatim, but he said something like, "Do you trust that I'm gonna be good?" Better to you than you have been to me, something along those lines. But he didn't tell David that it was going to be the high case. So it kind of left us all like on a cliffhanger,
yeah.
for lack of a better word. I mean, I feel like he definitely could have gave him a low case, tricked him mentally. That way Letty could have had a leg up in that. That just was so crazy. Let's talk about the banker. Did we kind of did our predictions
Oh,
last week? Chrissy Teigen was the banker. I'm like,
well, Mia, you saw this weekend that like NBC released an article
mhm,
naming the banker before last night's episode. Did you see
I
that?
know. Yeah, I did.
I was livid. Like, what? Like, why? Why? Please tell me why, because I don't know why.
I mean, there was too many. I don't either, but there was too many spoilers. You know, it was kind of in line with what I was guessing. Well, I guess Jordan, last season's winner, but I also kind of thought, well, maybe it's Sofia Vergara or possibly like, I mean, Chrissy never crossed my mind,
Yeah.
but when I saw that she was a banker, I'm like, oh, okay, no, this makes sense. She was a case model before, but she was getting a little feisty up there with David.
Oh, she was great.
Yeah.
I also like I like how you were like, I was close, and then I'm gonna say like I was kind of close too because I was saying like another female game show host, and she hosted that lip sync battle. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
was almost there. But, oh, she was hilarious last night on the floor, rolling around, pleading for David to like take her deals. It was fun, but
And
I
then
don't like that they ruined it at
I
all.
know. I want to know. He he was so confident. He was so composed. I noticed there were moments, and I really appreciated that because it kind of just reminded us as the viewers that he was thinking of his family. He kept kissing his necklace. I think his kids are on that. He was looking for signs, but he was so, I think I was sweating more than him. He was so composed, Craig. I'm like, how does this man do it? Like he was just like that one. Mama didn't raise no. I'm not gonna say the word, but and then he's like, no deal. I'm like, what?
I did like there was a moment where he was asking like Dixon and I think also Parvati to pick a number. I think if I was in that situation, I'd want everyone to contribute, like we all got here together, like I would do that. And then if I was ballsy enough to to do what he did, which I'm not, then if I went down to the final two, then I would probably in my head think, oh, well then I picked the $12 million case, but he was smart enough to be like, nope, it's not that one.
Right,
Crazy.
right.
So he had $75 in his case. It
Oh,
was so crazy seeing 26 cases, which I think was what it was. The old game was 26
right.
cases, right?
Yes, and then
Yeah.
last season it was only 22. Not only, but it was
Yeah.
22. So it's like, wow, he won. I can't even say this. I'm like
I know.
$5.8 million. That is life-changing money. That's generational wealth if you invest it correctly. I mean, good for him. Can I absolutely?
Yeah, and it was interesting, like they were kind of stressing like this could potentially be the biggest win in network television. Um, we have seen other shows outside of network that have given away more than that.
Mhm.
There was a live version of Squid Games on Netflix that I think the winner got 4.6. And then most recently on Prime with the Mr. Beast games
10
ended up
million.
winning 10 million. Yeah. So there's some big prizes out there. But I think before last night, as far as network television goes,
Mhm.
it would have been Jennings on Jeopardy, who won I don't know how much did he win? He was
I think
on
like
the show
around,
for like 80 days in a row or something like that.
I think it was around like 4 million, right? Like
Yeah,
4 million,
yeah.
which is, I mean, give me a half a million and I'm good to go, Craig. So,
I did see an article, I think from Entertainment Weekly, that said
Mhm.
David hasn't gotten the money yet, which of course he wouldn't until the finale. I mean, they shot
Right.
this 7 months ago, but he was saying he's already kind of been spending the money. But I imagine that check is probably in the mail right now. So
Going right to the investors, to the banks,
yeah, just
diversifying it.
insane.
Um,
5.8 million. All
After
right.
tax, what would that be?
I think they take like 30%, but he's also an Australian, so he
That's
might have to
right.
pay two taxes. I
Oh,
don't know. He might have to, he honestly he really might, he might have to pay a tax from wherever they shot
mhm.
and then an American tax. I don't know. We'll look that up. Most of the contestants, did you notice that one was missing last night?
I did. I did, Craig. Sydney was not there.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, she was the second person to get eliminated,
Mhm.
and we didn't get to interview her. And she also didn't do the like Boston Rob interviews. I knew she wasn't doing interviews after the show, but I guess I thought she would have at least been there for the finale. So,
Yeah.
but kind of want to bring this up and ask you about it.
Yeah.
They kind of have been bringing more and more reality competition people in this show. I guess there was what, three this season? Last year there was
Mhm.
one, I think. And I'm seeing that trend happening more like Traders, for instance. The first season of Traders started with like 50 or not 50, 50% regular people, 50% like reality stars. And now it's like big time reality stars. And there's already been leaks about like who's coming to season four of Traders. And it's big names as far as I think. Anyways, do you think Deal or General Island will continue allowing normal people like us to play, or do you think it's going to change into a celebrity game?
No, that's a great question. I think they're gonna like from my guess is that I think they're going to continue to let normal people like us
Yeah.
continue to play in the game, but I do think they'll continue to sprinkle in a couple past reality TV show stars here and there. But I think that, it kind of makes it more interesting when a normie goes in there and, fights till the end, even though Mr. Australian Survivor won. So
Well, and that's my problem is I don't think it's fair,
that's true.
Like it was the same with Traders, season one. Sari won. David kept it a secret, but he was one of the best Survivor players ever in history.
No, that's a good perspective too, because it's like, well, then you kind of as a viewer, as an audience member, kind of know who has a leg up in this competition. Does that make it more interesting because now the normal person is really going to have to step to the challenge, or does it make it just kind of boring knowing, hey, he's probably going to be in the finale here because he
Right.
knows his stuff. So I agree. I don't think it's fair.
Do a non-reality one and do a celebrity one. I promise you and I will watch both.
Absolutely. And hopefully Letty wins one of those because I know you're
Oh,
a huge fan, Craig.
I hope she I hope she gets on other shows. She was just so awesome.
I
I
know.
love
She was
her.
very vibrant. She has such good energy, guys. Please
Yeah.
watch that interview because
Yes.
she gives a lot of good hidden gems that we didn't know about it, the show in there. So definitely
Definitely
watch
check
that.
that out. Check out all the interviews we did this season. It
Yeah.
was such a great season. Me, it was really cool to like recap these last two episodes with you. And yeah, this has been a good season. Very happy with it.
It's been a great season. And yeah, Craig, thank you so much for recapping with me. It's been fun talking to you. Guys, I love Craig's reaction to Letty when he's like, Letty, oh my gosh, I could talk to you all day. I'm obsessed. Please go watch that interview. You will not be disappointed. We can't stress it enough. And follow us for more. I think, yeah, the next season of Dill or No Dill Island, whenever that comes out, we'll be right there, and The Voice too. So check us out.
Awesome, guys. Well, again, my name's Craig Reese.
And I'm Mia Gomez.
This is Hollywood Junket, and we'll see you next time.